Welcome back, everybody, to Analytics Crypto. My name is Mike. Thank you for joining me here this evening, this morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to talk about some news today. We're going to talk about the markets today. We're going to talk about my ever so valued opinion, and it's going to be fun. So, look, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I'd like to see a little bit more growth here and keep spreading the word that there is some decent analytics out there. I call them Synalytics because it ties in with my last name, and it's my way of giving you my opinion. And give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, however you choose to do it. You know, I always appreciate you guys' comments. I really want to know what you guys think right now because, oftentimes, like everybody else, us analytics, these people who make YouTube videos, we're wrong. We're wrong often. I am not a super chart guy. I still think that charting does have its place, Fibonacci sequences, the way things are going, stuff like that. But it's really hard to chart FUD, and it's really hard to chart whale manipulation. So these are just opinions, guys, that I'm about to give you. But I do like to know what you think because some of you guys that follow my channel, you're really smart. Even though this channel is mostly kind of sort of geared towards newer investors, I'm loving some of the experts that are joining us in the Telegram group and giving us their opinion and sharing information. Look, information is really what it's all about in the crypto space, and I really appreciate yours. So hope to see you guys in the comments. Before we get into the news, let's talk about what's going on because there's been a massive snapback recovery, and a lot of people could have said that they saw this coming. The last time this happened, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 days ago, but it basically ended up being a dead cat bounce. I was talking to a friend I met in Mexico. What's up, Nick? He'd never heard, he's a Bitcoin and a cryptocurrency investor. He's never heard of a dead cat bounce. And I explained to him what that is. I said, hey, when things are oversold, basically, there's this bounce back, and it's simply because most of the time it's oversold. People see some opportunities, they jump in, and you make some pretty fat gains. Like if we look at the 24-hour here in the green, there's been some really nice gains. But then again, it's a dead cat bounce for a reason because it ends up going right back down again because people either take the quick profits or they still think that there's a downward momentum. And so if you can catch a dead cat bounce, you're a very good trader and you're doing well because you're increasing the positions on your coins. That means you the most, hopefully. Now, this is very similar to what happened a few days ago. I don't know if this is quote unquote a dead cat bounce, but it almost is kind of starting to look like it. But we're going to determine some things in the news, and you guys are going to tell me what you think. Do you think this is a dead cat bounce? Do you think this is a recovery? Or do you think we're just going to go bottom out and find even better deals out there? So please let me know. Just kind of focus on the top 10, top 20, something like that. 24-hour periods, you're looking at a 24% gain, a 25% gain in Ethereum. Awesome. 32 for Binance Coin. Standard. XRP's been going up. Polkadot. Everything except, well, USD doesn't count, but look at that. Uniswap, 46%. Polygon at one point today, you guys, was up over 115%. So that was incredible. I do love Polygon. I'm a big fan of Matic, and I actually did a little bit of selling of some Matic when it hit about $2.07 about a week ago because I wanted to pull some profits. I've got something to do. I got some property to buy in Mexico with it, so I'm really glad I did that because this crash was, for me, very unexpected, and I was glad that I was sitting on some stuff on the side. I'm kind of in this limbo mode because I need that money to buy that house with, but I also have this money now to jump back in the market, and I've been hesitant. I really was. I woke up this morning, I saw Polygon at 84 cents. That's where I found it at, and I thought, gosh, what a great entry point to enter into. But I'm working with money that I can't really afford to lose. You guys have heard me preach this in my videos. If you're playing with your lunch money or your rent money or your car payment money, you can't afford to make mistakes with that. If you're playing with money that you can't lose in this market, you're going to put yourself in a bad spot because if the volatility like we're seeing happens now and it continues down, you might have to settle for a loss. I'm not in this game to settle for losses. The reason I'm still here and the reason I'm making YouTube videos now is that I rode 2017 all the way to the top and I rode 2018 all the way down to the bottom. I didn't take profits, but I sure as heck didn't take losses either. And that's why I still have a healthy portfolio that I can play with cryptocurrencies, and I can go from one to the other, and I can continue to try to find projects, and I can invest in them without worrying so much that I don't have enough to do that with. So those are the lessons that I like to teach people about, and because I lived through it. I do have to practice what I preach. I'm sitting on a decent amount of money and I'm afraid. I admit it, you guys. Yes, I am afraid to pull the trigger on anything right now because this volatility is absolutely wild. So if you go back to maybe just an hour or two ago, you're just seeing nothing but green. It's like, okay, V-shaped recovery is coming, and we don't really know that because let's go to the 1 hour here, and we're starting to see drops. We're starting to see 3, 4, 4%, 5% drops in in the hourly. And so what that says to me is that volatility is still very, very, very much here. It's hard to enter this market, you guys. And I would totally suggest that if you're going to get back in, yesterday would have been a better day to get in because everything was just super double-digit red all across the board, 7-day, 24-hour, 1 hour. And it's hard because it's hard to wrap your mind around the mentality of buying something that's going down. I get that. It's really hard to do. But then you see these snapbacks. Now, like I said, dead cat bounce, I'm not so sure. Are we going to just kind of go from oversold to overbought to oversold again? That's quite possible. There's a lot of sentiment in both directions. It's very, very hard to determine where things are going. You got the bears and you got the bulls, and everyone's kind of coming out saying, we don't really know what to do. This is the most extreme volatility that I've personally ever seen in 5 years. And this is, I heard Crypto Man Ran talking about this was the biggest pullback in 8 years. So that's quite a bit going on, you guys. I'm not here to give anybody advice as to when to buy or what to buy at this moment. I do feel responsible for the words that I say, and I would never tell people in this sort of volatility what to expect, because if I tried to pretend like I knew what was coming, I would be lying to you. And I try to base things on my own even investment strategy, and even I'm afraid to enter. I'll tell you what though, if this is indeed a dead cat bounce, and if this is indeed we start dropping and Bitcoin's going down to the 30K range again, and if it does go down that far, I actually expect it to dip even further below the 30K range. At that price, because of what's happened twice in the last 4 days, I would certainly be going in pretty hard on some of the projects, depending on, and I would be sticking with top 20s right now because it's too volatile to be messing with low cap alt gems and all that stuff right now. I'd be sticking with the top 10, top 15, top 20. Things like Polygon, things like Cardano would be the things I'd be targeting. I'd be looking at who's taking a bigger loss. I do believe very much so in projects like that, projects like Polkadot. Chainlink is just such a great buy right now. So I actually would be pretty stoked if indeed we went lower, because I do have that cheddar on the side just kind of dripping and waiting. Like I said, I could have made 100% gain today in Polygon had I woke up this morning, had my wits about me, and made some trades. But I don't want to play with money that I can't afford to lose. I'm not going to play that game. So where are we? I have no idea. This is absolutely mega crazy volatility, and it's scary to be in the market. And for newer people who, you've only invested kind of relatively newly and you're freaking out because you're thinking, oh my God, like I bought at the top and now I'm screwed because we're going into bear market. I will preface this by telling you, we're not in a bear market. Shh, don't tell anybody. But honestly, in my heart of hearts, I do not see a bear market coming. This volatility will continue. But to be in a bear market, it's just that the atmosphere is not ripe for that, you guys. Cryptocurrency is gone. It's in its beginning phases of going mainstream. That is not the time that you're going to see a bear market. Excuse me. Thought I had to sneeze. There's too much institutional play going on. We're seeing too many violent swings. We're seeing Bitcoin go from, all the way down to 30K on a flash crash, all the way back up to, above 40K. And so dead cat bounce, maybe going lower, maybe going higher, maybe V-shaped recovery. I don't think I can see a V-shaped recovery any more than I could see, a bear market. But it's definitely time to keep an eye on the right projects and find the right entry points, because like I said, you got a lot of people over here that are chatting about bears, and a lot of people are there going, hey, this is fine. This is even healthy. This is not as healthy as some of the pullbacks that we've had over the last, 6 weeks or so, because those 20-25% pullbacks in Bitcoin are actually extremely healthy. And you can see how it's recovered after every single time they've had those kinds of pullbacks. So we're not in that territory anymore. We are definitely in a storm. The boat is rocking. The tables are sliding all over the place, and glass is falling from the ceiling and breaking. But some people are making really good money right now because they're able to catch these dips and they're able to ride them up. And when you catch something and you get a 40-50% swing off it, knowing that there's volatility, taking that profit, knowing that maybe that's the only profit you're going to get, is a lot better than selling at a loss, number one, or desperately trying to find where the bottom is. You're not going to find the bottom. Even professional traders don't catch the bottom. If they do, it's probably mostly an accident. If they tell you that they called it exactly like they thought it was going to go, they're lying to you. I'm Mike from Untitled Crypto. I will never lie to you. I just try to make sense out of all this because I'm trying to make sense of it for myself as well as my family, my friends, and my viewers who support this channel. I appreciate you guys so much. So let's go to the news, you guys. I got a few things to say about a few things. We're going to start with Ray Dalio. This is actually pretty big news. Don't underscore this because I'm kind of going to talk some smack right now. Because I don't like Ray Dalio, but at the same time, don't forget that this is really big news. This guy has been a Bitcoin bear. He doesn't like Bitcoin. But even Ray Dalio, this dinosaur guy here, he's starting to see the light. He realizes that the dollar is being printed into oblivion. We got our good friend the toilet paper here that spits out money, right? It spits out fiat dollars that basically are the equivalent of trash and toilet paper. And Ray Dalio is saying that he bought some Bitcoin despite saying governments may ban cryptocurrencies. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm glad that you're a big public figure and that you've been a Bitcoin hater for so long, but you finally capitulated and bought yourself some Bitcoin. Golf clap. Good on you. You have no idea about this space. The governments are not going to ban cryptocurrencies. China's not going to do it. India's not going to do it. The United States is certainly not going to do it. In fact, a lot of the FUD and a lot of the news that we have going on is because the U.S. is openly starting to come out and realizing, hey, this is a big industry that's going to get bigger. We have to regulate it, and we have to regulate it soon. Number one, because they want to steal your tax dollars, and they want to want to get their piece of the pie. And they realize that if they don't regulate it, it's still going to be the Wild West. We're having rug pulls. I mean, regulation needs to happen. But guys like Ray Dalio coming out buying Bitcoin are positive. They're bullish. But he salted it a little bit with that whole governments may ban cryptocurrencies. Let's just leave it at this. Dude, you're wrong. Welcome to Bitcoin. Thanks for being here. You can be quiet now. We don't need any more of your opinions, Mr. Dalio. Second one on Mr. Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio owns Bitcoin, would settle for BTC over government bonds. Wow, dude. Another golf clap. You're a genius. So you're telling me you'd rather have Bitcoin, which is an amazing, inflationary asset that, excuse me, it's going to go up is what I'm trying to say. It's hard capped, it's fungible, it's peer-to-peer, it's transactable, nobody can stop you from doing it. You're telling me you'd rather have that than dollars and toilet paper? Dang, dude, you're so on point, bro. We're so happy to have you aboard. Like I said, go away now. We're done with you, Mr. Ray Dalio. I liked this. This is a good article. Again, I'm not reading these for you guys because you don't need me to read to. This isn't story time. I'm just showing you headlines, and hopefully if you find these interesting, you'll go read them yourself because it's part of DYORing. You got to do your own research. Elon Musk and Michael Saylor form working group with North American Bitcoin miners. This is good because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get Bitcoin off of this whole FUD that it's, it's not environmentally friendly and it sucks up all these power. And that was where some of this first, downturn started happening because people were crying about Bitcoin being not eco-friendly and all that stuff, and if you really look into things, you can see that we burn more power on Christmas lights in this country than Bitcoin does in the entire year. So it's a good article to read, but to have people like MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor and Tesla's Elon Musk to get behind and say, okay, look, we see the need, we see the involvement, we see that the movement towards people not understanding what Bitcoin is, and education is key. That's what I try to do with this channel here, is simply to educate people. When I meet people in the streets and have conversations with people, with my family, my friends, it's all about education. If you just go by all the things that you're hearing, the chitter chatter, you're not going to really know the truth. And the truth is that this does need to be addressed. And I'm glad that Elon Musk is coming around because he's caused a lot of problems in the cryptocurrency market over the last 14 days. And, he's gotten a lot of hate for it. And Elon Musk is a brilliant mind. He's a brilliant man, but he needs to be very careful with the power of the words of his mouth. Now, if he's going to put those things towards the right things, then that's really good. And we can jump back on the Elon train and we could say, thank you for all you do. Michael Saylor is the guy. He's the real hero here. He's the one that kicked off this bull run by really getting people involved. I mean, the guy's connected. He's a multi-billionaire. He's been talking to all his billionaire friends about why they should carry Bitcoin, why they should understand Bitcoin, that it is the future. So thank you to both of you, especially you, Michael Saylor. And let's get back on track here so people can understand what Bitcoin is and how it's changing the world. So thank you for that. Next piece of news. So Cardano knows, what does this new milestone mean for what's next for Cardano? So this might be an article I have to read just a little bit to you because I haven't read this article yet. It's got the capitalization of 44 billion basically at press time, but the fourth largest cryptocurrency on CoinMarketCap. What's more, ADA's investors were recently nearing 600% year-to-date returns. Awesome. This is what we've been looking for from Cardano for a very long time. This is just the beginning, by the way. I think Cardano's really about to have like an Ethereum 2017 type run. They're finally, they've changed their tires while the car was moving, and things are running. The Alonso hard fork is coming out. All kinds of good stuff is happening for Cardano. So they're talking about the Shelly upgrade. They're talking about the Mary hard fork. They're talking about Alonso. They're talking about being able to have smart contracts, and they're going to be carrying NFTs. They're having their own wallet. Cardano's ecosystem is blowing up. It is going to be huge. This is going to be a project that is going to be in the top 5 for life. I really truly believe that once Cardano gets rolling, I believe that there's no stopping it. So when I talk to people, and in fact I talked to my uncle Mike, what's up bro, if you see this this video and you made it this far, love you uncle. What have I been telling you? Get into Cardano. What did I say yesterday in yesterday's video? If you're comfortable with buying Cardano at $2.40, why wouldn't you buy it at $1.37? Because that's where it was when I made yesterday's video. And had you done that, you'd be a slight bit in a profit. The point is when you have a chance to get a good entry point on a really good project such as Cardano, that's just not going to come undone anytime soon here. This is what you should be doing. You don't have to throw everything you have at it at once. You have to really play this and find out and just dollar cost average down and up, guys. That's what I try to teach you guys. That's a good place to be. You sleep well at night knowing that you haven't made some huge mistakes and you're regretting everything that you've done, and you're in the meantime increasing, and hopefully you're staking your Cardano, earning that 5%. That's how you build wealth. That's a smart way to invest in crypto. The opportunities are ripe. Crypto is amazing, and even on the way down, there is money to be made, you guys. Very interesting. I could probably talk about this for a half an hour nonstop in a whole other video, and maybe I will expand on this at some point because I've made videos like this before. Talking about the U.S. dollar, talking about gold, talking about crypto, Bitcoin, and specifically Bitcoin and the death of the U.S. dollar. Yes, I urge you guys to go read this article because this is the truth. It's basically the truth. Look, the US dollar is dying. It's very sad. It's not healthy like my little friend Planta Corazon here. She's a healthy girl. I love her. I take care of her. I feed her lots of water. I sing to her in the morning. It's great. But the dollar's not. The dollar's sad, you guys. These dead presidents on these bills, they're sad. Like, he's upside down. Jackson's not happy. Is this Jackson? Probably. It's just another piece of paper. The dollar's in trouble, and Bitcoin, although there's a downturn right now and there's all this negative sentiment, Bitcoin is the future, guys. Bitcoin will probably be the nail in the coffin eventually for the death of the US dollar, because we're going to have to get off the world is moving towards a non-fiat system. They don't want us having dollars anymore. They can't track our dollars. They can't tax our dollars. There's been such bad light painted on Bitcoin, like, oh, it's used for nefarious things. Okay, what about the US dollar, dude? Like, do you know that, like, some obscene amount of $100 bills and $20 bills actually have traces of cocaine on them because people are using them to do things that they shouldn't be doing, and the government knows that. And if they can track things on the blockchain, believe me, they want to take something that's decentralized or sold to us as being decentralized, because in some ways, yes, it is. There's it's not as decentralized as we'd like it to be because mining pools and stuff like that. But basically, they want to control things. They want to condense things. They want to be able to track everything. And when the dollar dies, because it will die, all the fiat currencies will die with it. It'll be a sad day for some who are holding on to dollars, not for me because I have gold and Bitcoin. But they're going to institute a new way of transacting money. It will be CBDCs. It'll be digital. And every country will basically have their own CBDC, centralized bank digital currency, centralized being the key word there. But crypto is always going to play a part. Now, at some point when those things maybe don't work right like they thought they would, they're going to have like a new IMF, an International Monetary Fund, that's kind of be a conglomerate of basically CBDCs. And who knows? The United States used to be on a gold standard till we went off it. And that's when the inflation started happening and we're $30 trillion in debt. But Bitcoin could certainly be the new... basically not so much a world currency because it's not going to be transacted. You're not going to be transacting in Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin acts as a reserve because it's so high, astronomical in value, because it's so basically rare, who knows? This could be all backed by Bitcoin at some point someday. I wouldn't be surprised when governments start to come out and say, yes, they've been basically, holding on to Bitcoin and they've been buying Bitcoin and they've been buying these dips, and at some point they might have to have it on their balance sheet just to give their CBDCs some validity that you can actually use them. They're actually backed by something. So that would be a good thing to see. We don't know exactly where things are going. I'll tell you what, the 2020s are going to be the most interesting decade the world has ever seen. Believe me, there is a lot going on in the world and things that don't even have anything to do with money. But we all know that to control the world and to shape the world and the things that kind of sort of make the world run, it's financial. It's the financial system. You guys, the financial system is changing rapidly. We are so far ahead of pace with crypto in general and what the blockchain is actually doing. Nobody really saw us people thought we'd probably be this far by maybe 2023 for 2025, maybe even the end of the decade. We're already in the beginning of 2021 and things are moving fast, real fast. You've got to be aware of what's going on. You have to know what you're invested in. You have to be confident in what you're invested in, or else things like the last series of weeks would shake you out and you would be losing your money and you'd be scared to get back in, and you're going to look back one day and regret that you made those mistakes. So I want to help you not make those mistakes. So please read this article yourself, guys, because especially if you're sitting on a lot of US dollars, because if you're sitting on US dollars, there's going to come a day where you're going to feel the pain. Big news. Huge news. I say this for last for a reason, because this is the biggest news in weeks, to be honest with you. Goldman Sachs endorses Bitcoin as a new asset class. Okay, we all know Goldman Sachs is a major American bank. These guys have power with their words. They have power with their influence. They've been notoriously kind of anti-Bitcoin and crypto for a very long time. And now I will say this, just because Goldman Sachs endorses Bitcoin as a new asset class doesn't mean that the government's going to label it as an asset class, but it's heading towards that. It should already be determined as a new asset class. They should have separate tax rules for cryptocurrency that are not like gold, that are not like bonds and stocks and 401ks and capital gains and selling your homes and all these kinds of things. There's so many. The taxes are so complicated in the U.S. For any of you people that are in the other parts of the world that watch my channel, the U.S. is a mess, you guys. Our dollar's a mess. We're super far in debt. Our taxes are a nightmare. Every time we change regimes, everything changes and it gets a little crazy. But for Goldman Sachs to come out and endorse this as a new asset class, they're calling it early, is what they're trying to do. They called the winning horse, which means these regulations that we were talking about earlier in this video, they are coming, they are necessary. It may cause a little bit of temporary pain, but it's going to open the door for the floodgates to come in, because the government wants their taxes. They want to be able to get what's coming to them, what they deserve, I suppose you could say. Nobody really likes to pay taxes. We know we have to. So it'd be nice to see them regulate this industry separately as a new asset class, so people could have just some clarity on, okay, so how do I pay my taxes on my gains in Bitcoin? And what is it like when I go from one currency to the other? And how do I, report things properly? And, this is what we need. So huge piece of news. I like it. These are the things that to me are more bullish. Michael Saylor and Elon Musk talking about they want to help Bitcoin with some of the problems it's having with its energy consumption. Goldman Sachs coming out and saying, we got a new asset class here. We got to deal with it. Things are happening. Things are happening big time. China did not ban Bitcoin. That is a false and misleading headline. China is telling people, mostly new miners, hey, when you come in here and you're going to mine Bitcoin, you got to tell us about it. We're the CCP. We're the Communist Party of China. We own you. You literally are our slaves. That's the Chinese government. They enslave their people, and they demand to know what's going on at all times. And so that's really what's going on. The news headlines are running rampant, and that's what's causing all of this. So be ready to take advantage of these kinds of things, because it's all going to come out in the wash, right? What's one of my favorite sayings that I like to say? The proof's in the pudding, right? The proof's in the pudding. If you, certain special person, someone, if you watch my videos and you see this, that was for you. Basically, you can't keep a secret for too long. There's the news, the headlines, and then there's reality. And reality is going to set in, and I think we're going to go right back into a bull market at some point after we experience some of the washing out. Look, whales have been buying Bitcoin in huge amounts. This is all manipulated. It's the same old story that I keep telling you guys about. Don't be scared. Don't sell at a loss. Don't overextend yourself by playing with money that you cannot afford to lose, and everything will be fine. By the time, summer's in full swing, we're like mid to end of summertime, I think we're going to be really right back in the midst of, another round of the bull run. And I think my dire prediction, you guys, you can come back to this and timestamp this if you want. I do believe that by the month of December this year, we are going to have a lot of blow off top moments. And that's the point when you're going to want to take profits, or you're going to want to stake your cryptos that you believe in, maybe even go into some stable coins and you can earn some interest on those. There's many ways that you can do that. My bold prediction for today is that December is going to be like the 4th of July. It's going to pop off pretty big. We're going to recover. Everything's going to be okay. Like I like to do sometimes when I make some more lengthy videos. Let's refresh. Let's see where we're at. We're at 1.729. Let's just give this a quick refresh just so we can see where we're going. Okay, yeah, down to 1.719. So yeah, the 1 hour is still starting to bleed out a little bit. So keep an eye on things, you guys. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. Peace.